Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this really pretty multi-strand bracelet, and this is done with soft flex beading wire, and it's multi-strand, and all of these beads are from the dollar bead box. Most of the ones in this one, I'm calling the Falling Leaves bracelet, and I posted this one on Facebook. Most of them are from September's bead box, except for just a couple of beads. The chain and these gold beads are from a previous bead box, and then I added some O beads. So here it is. It's multi-strand. I've used the charm, I've made some dangles and put some dangles on the clasp. And then I made this one. And these are, again, except for this big focal bead and these two on the side, most of the beads are from previous dollar bead boxes. So here, let me take this one off and I'll show them both to you. So here they are, really fun to make. I'm going to give you a materials list for this one today, and then I'll put the materials for this one in the description box below the video. All right, so let's get started right away with the materials list. So for both of them, before we get to the beads, you're going to need a clasp, and this clasp, let me pull this one up a bit. This clasp is a toggle and a loop, and if you're going to put lots of strands on it, you need to have a nice big loop. You can even actually use a loop and just attach a lobster claw at the other end. But I like the toggle and the loop, so just make sure it's a big one because you have to make sure that it's going to be able to close. All right, so that's this one. This one is, a lot of you like this on Facebook, and I'll put the excuse me, I'll put the name of this in the description box. You'll need some jump rings, and these I think are 10mm jump rings. You'll need some crimp beads, and I'm using a 2x2 crimp, and here I'll pull them out so that you can see them. So here you'll need a bunch of those. You'll need some crimp covers. Everything I'm doing here is brass, but whatever color you want. All this is copper. I'm just going to work with a little brass today. Just going to, get you started. So I have some crimp covers. These are 5mm crimp covers. You need some soft flex beading wire. Now, one of your previous bead boxes, if you have them, has the soft flex beading wire in it. So if you haven't used it, you can use it. All right, and then what we're going to need as far as, and I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to need bead-wise for this. I'm not going to pull the beads out because I've used them, so I will tell you what they are. All right, so you're going to need some, well, let's add actually some O beads. So you'll need some O beads for both of them. Okay, and then you're going to need the 5x3mm Czech Glass Rondelle. That's this one. You'll need the 4mm Druk, and this is the Apatite Druk. This is September's bead box. You'll need the 7mm Firepolished bead, and that's, I think it's either ocean blue or green, I'm not sure. It's in the September's box. The 9x19 owl charm. Here he is. You'll need the other 4mm Druk, which is this one. It's Amethyst and Opal, white Opal, I think. That's this one. Let's see. You'll need, of course, a clasp. Now, this is my own clasp. All right, so those are the beads that you're going to be using. As far as the dangles, I just used some beads from previous bead boxes here, excuse me, and this one is from September's bead box. All right, so let's go on. So then I'll just say it one more time. The clasp, the jump rings, the crimp beads, the crimp covers, the O beads, the soft flex beading wire. You'll need a piece of chain. If you want to put the chain on, this is from a previous bead box, and so is this one. So look back in your boxes to see what you can use. You'll need some tools. So I have a chain nose pliers. I've got a wire cutter. I've got a round nose pliers. So you'll need those. I have these little stopper beads that are springy, but you don't necessarily have to have them. You can always use something else. All right, so there are basic materials. So gather up your stuff, and then we'll get started making this bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I'm working on a strand here. This is just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to sort of do an abbreviated version just to show you how to put it together. But I'll leave this here, and what you can do is you can just pause the video. If you want to duplicate this bracelet, then just pause the video and just duplicate what I did, or just have a grand old time playing with the beads. So what I did is I cut a piece of beading wire. Let me move these guys out of the way. About 12 inches, 12 to 14 inches, depending on the size of your wrist. You want to give yourself plenty at either end to work with so it's comfortable. I put on my stop bead. If you don't have this, you can just tie a knot in the end. Here, I'll tie a knot in this end. And just tie it loosely like that, and that will just hold the beads on. Otherwise, they're going to fall off, and you're going to string something, and they're going to end up on the floor. All right, so at the end, you want to put some narrower beads here, smaller beads at both ends, because it's more comfortable, one, and two, it's going to be easier to attach the clasp and easier to close it. So make sure your beads, like 5 or 6 of them, whatever, 3 of them at the end are a little bit smaller than the rest. So here I put on 3 3mm fire polished beads. These are from the bead bag. I've got 3 O beads. And then I have just a number of 4mm fire polish. These are also from the bead box. And I'm just putting an O bead in between each one. So you can just do this if you want, or whatever you like. So just keep adding those beads. So I'll do a few with you. So I'm just picking them up. Like so. You can do whatever combination you love. Just like that. Right, and you want to make this strand the length of the bracelet. Okay, so my bracelet is, I have no idea what size my bracelet is, so why don't we measure it and see. Excuse my arm. Okay. So altogether with the clasp, I have 7 inches. Okay, so the clasp is, my clasp is 1 inch, so I have about 6 inches of beads. Well, to just measure it. Yeah, I have about almost 6 inches of beads. So you just need to measure that and see what fits well on your wrist. I like my bracelets a little on the loose side. I don't like them tight, so I'm going to make mine a teeny bit bigger. All right, so then just keep stringing. So string on your strands, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to attach a couple of them to the clasp, and I'll show you how to also use the crimp covers. All right, see you in a few. Okay, I have my first strand done, and I'm going to attach this to the ring. So now we're going to attach it to the ring part of this toggle, not the loop underneath, because you can only, there would be too many strands to attach them there. So I'm just attaching them to the ring here. So pick up a crimp bead and put it on, just like that. Put it through your ring, just like that. Come back through the crimp. And if you try and get yourself through a few of the beads, like that. Okay, so I've just gotten through one, but you can put through a few more. And then grab you can use a crimp tool here. I always use my flat nose to do a crimp, or a chain nose, but you can use if you have a crimp tool, use that. Mine broke a while back and I just never replaced it. So then just either use your crimp tool or your pliers and just give a squeeze, nice and tight. Okay. Take your wire cutters, just clip that off, and now you're attached. Okay, so let's put a crimp cover on that. So here's the cover, and I'm going to do it, I think, right on the board, because on the mat, because it just stays better. So I've just laid it over there. Do you notice? Well, here, I'll take it off for a second. It looks like a C. Okay, so just put it over your crimp like that. And then just give it a gentle, oops. I want to give it a gentle squeeze. I just did a little hard there, so let me do that. And then just give it a gentle squeeze, just like that, and it goes on. And then turn it around, and at this point, you can squeeze it a little bit more and straighten it out. There is a tool, which I have, that closes them really nicely, but I just misplaced it. I can't find it. So I just use my pliers. So now you have your first strand on. All right, so let's put on the chain. Now, I don't have a long enough chain to do this, so this is just going to be, as I said, an abbreviated version. But, so the chain, if you need to cut your chain, because this chain is soldered. So if you need to cut it, so I can't open the loop, so I have to cut it. This is a big, thick chain to cut. So if you're going to use your wire cutters to cut it, just make sure that you cover it, put it over something, I don't know, something that is not, so it's not going to go flying in your face, and then cut it. Or if you're not accustomed to cutting heavy chain, then have somebody help you with that. So all I'm going to do is take a jump ring, and I'm going to open the jump ring. Just like that. I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to attach the jump ring to the loop, and just make sure you put it where you want to put it. So put it, either it's going to be the next one or the one underneath, you know, the bottom one. So there, close your ring. So I have my chain, so this is my bottom one, and my chain is going to be my second strand. All right, so that's what you're going to do for all your strands. So get all your strands done, as many strands as you like, and then meet me back here and we'll put the toggle end on. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I shortened my other strand a little bit just so I could, you know, so they're even. So you want to make sure that it's the right length now. It's important that you always check it. So here's my toggle. So I'm going to use this loop, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some jump rings to this loop, which is going to make your bracelet a little bit longer. So again, you want to make sure of the length once you put these on. So you want before you close everybody, you know, before you attach your strands, just check your length. So I'm taking a jump ring and I'm attaching it. It's a nice heavy jump ring. I'll get the gauge and put it in the materials box, and I'm going to attach that jump ring just like that. And I'm going to do another one. You can do as many as you want here. It's just going to give you a little more length, and it's going to make your bracelet close easier. So I'm going to do two. So I'll do three just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so here. So make sure, you know, when you add these on, you have to add at least a couple on, just so the bracelet will be easy to close. Okay, there you go. All right, so here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this end loop as the toggle loop. You see what I mean? So instead of using this guy, we're just using the end loop here. So put on your crimp bead, come through the loop, that's the bottom loop. Just make sure the size is right, okay? Come back through your beads. Just like that. And here, if you want to, you don't want to pull it so tight that it kinks up. You want it to be fluid. So make sure that it bends a little bit. You know, you want a little, you know, it to be a little, you don't want it to be stiff. So I'm going to make it, you know, about like so. And you want enough room to put your crimp cover on also. So then I'm just going to crimp. Very easy. I'm going to clip off my wire, and now I have the other side on. For the chain, actually I'm going to open this bottom loop, you know, the loop that we just attached the wire to. Just going to open it. And I'm just going to slip the chain right on. You don't have to put it on a separate loop. Then I'm going to close it. Now I have the chain on. So you see, you got it. So that's what you have. So when you close it, do you see how that, it's going to be easy. It's going to go through easy. So you have the smaller beads at the end, and then you have these 3 little loops. So when it closes, it's going to look like that. So really nice. All right, so go ahead and get the rest of your bracelet done, as many strands as you like, and then meet me back here and we'll make some dangles. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and I have my mini bracelet done. There we go, I've got 2 strands on it. Now let's make some dangles. So for the dangles, you're going to need some head pins. I'm using 2-inch head pins, depending on the size of the dangle. Like you might need a smaller. This is a big one, so I would need the 2-inch. You know, so if you're making a little tiny one, you could probably use a smaller one. But I only have 2-inch head pins, so I'm going to use that. So grab a head pin and put on a number of beads. So I'm just going to put whatever I think is pretty. Maybe I'll make, let's see, oh, maybe I'll just do this little blue one. Like that. Okay, so I'll make a little dangle on this one. There you go, just like that. So take your chain nose pliers and just hold the top, just place it right at the top of your beads, the top one, and make sure that there's no head pin coming down here. No, you want to make sure it's snug. That's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to hold it this way. For those of you who haven't done this before, then you just want to bend it down like that. See? Hold that for a second. Okay, I'm going to take out my chain nose and grab my round nose. I'm going to put my round nose pliers right in this corner that I made. Okay, I'm going to try to hold it right here. You want to hold it down at the tip, just like that. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then you're going to bend that loop over that top leg of the pliers and down the side, just like that. Hold it there for a second. Then I'm going to reposition, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to reposition my pliers with the bottom leg coming through the loop, and then I'm just going to bring that loop around like this. See that? Take that out. This is what you have. We're almost there. I'm going to take my chain nose, I'm going to hold the loop, and then I'm going to wrap the loop. I'm just using my finger. I'm just going to pull the head pin just around. I'm going to do three wraps on this one, let's say. Okay, just like that. So there I have it. I'm going to clip that piece of wire off. I'm putting my hand over it because I don't want it to go flying. And then the little sharp piece that's sort of sticking out there, just give it a little squeeze. And then you could adjust your loop a little bit to make it, make it nice. All right, so that's one. Let's do one more. So here's my head pin. I'll do this. This looks like an aventurine bead. I'll put a little seed bead. I only have these blue beads, so I'll use them again. All right, so I'm going to take my chain nose. Just going to hold it. Just like that, right down at the end. I like to keep it pretty close to the end because, that makes sure the space where you're going to wrap, so you don't want it to be huge. Just bend it over, just like that. Put in your round nose. Hold that nice and tight. Wrap it around, just like that. Reposition your pliers, make your loop, just like that. Hold it with your chain nose and wrap your wire around. Just like that. Clip off the extra wire. Give it a little press, and there you have another loop. Okay, so let's put them on. Let's put our dangles on the bracelet. So I'm just going to take a jump ring, going to open it up, put it through the clasp, give it a little twist, closed, and you have one dangle. Now I just want to grab, here we go. So this pliers right here is a really awesome pliers to use instead of a round nose for opening jump rings. It doesn't slip. So here, let's take our jump ring, open it up, put on your dangle, put it on your loop, close it up. You have two. So while we're at it, let's put on a charm. So I'm going to open up on the jump ring, put this pretty little heart charm on, put it around my clasp, close it up, and there you have it. So that was fun. I mean, I've been making so many of these. They're so much fun to make. All right, so there's our bracelet. Here, we'll close it. I don't know if this one fits because it was a mini bracelet, but I could actually give it to somebody. All right, so here it is. Very cute. I didn't put all the crimp covers on this, but there it is. Here's the other one. Here's the falling leaves. Let's see if I can roll them up a little bit. There you go. So here are all your bracelets. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a lot of fun making these bracelets. They're really awesome and very creative and a whole lot of fun to make. All right, so thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.